Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fan Appreciation Marathon here on Reaction and Review. Yes, guys, we are going to be spending the next 5 days covering 5 movies sent in by you guys, and we're kicking off this special week with a movie I promised I'd cover quite a while ago. You see, a while back I covered Troll 2, and I said I was going to cover the first one because, well, the person who sent it in, it was a double feature, so it has both movies. So yes, tonight's movie is 1986's Troll, and the only thing I know about it, as I stated in my review of Troll 2, is it's about a young boy named Harry Potter who fights a troll, and I, again, am not joking about that. Actually, I am kind of joking. His name is actually Harry Potter Jr., but I'm not going to split hairs on that. So anyway, that's all that I know about this. That's literally the only things I know, is that the character's name is Harry Potter, and he fights a troll. And it came out in 1986. That's it. That's all that I know. And its sequel has nothing to do with anything in this one. In fact, the sequel doesn't even have a fucking troll in it, much less anything even related to this. I don't know if this is going to be any good. I have no earthly clue. The only way I'm going to find out is if I shut the fuck up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Troll. Alright, guys. So far, I can say this. The best character in this entire movie is played by Sonny fucking Bono. I never thought I'd ever be able to say that Sonny friggin' Bono would be likable in anything, but holy shit, so far he's the only character in this thing I actually kind of like. Well, I will certainly say that this troll has very interesting ways of killing people. Kind of a pity I had to find out. I had to find out this by the fucking thing killing off the one character I actually kind of like, but you know what? It happens, and it was still a really awesome death, so I'm willing to let that one slide. Swear to God, this is the worst version of friggin' Summertime Blues I've ever heard. Do you hear this shit? Mind you, normally I'm really into, like, harder sounding rock, but this sucks. God, make it fucking stop. You know, I really was not expecting a musical number in this thing. I genuinely was not. Still, though, at least the singing wasn't too bad, just I was not expecting a musical number in this fucking thing, you know? It sort of threw me off a little. So let me see if I understand this. We have this small apartment complex. Has maybe 6 fucking tenants. It took them this long to notice that a bunch of them have kind of vanished and that strange noises are coming from inside their fucking apartments. Wow, that is kind of sad, especially since one of them is the fucking building super, and he was like one of the first victims. It took them this long to notice that the building doesn't have a super anymore. Wow, the people in this movie are kind of dumb, aren't they? Now hold on a second here. I could have sworn that the troll's plan of having its little fantasy world burst out into the real world would only work if he transformed every fucking apartment in the building. If that is the case, why the hell are there, like, living roots shooting out of the roof now? I totally understand it's a pointless and stupid thing to mention, but this is a huge plot hole that they deliberately said couldn't happen, and it's kind of bugging me a little. Well, guys, that was Troll, and, well, I'm pleasantly surprised. Alright, yeah, let me shut that off. Okay, so, where to really start? Well, I will say, I had no idea if this thing was going to be any good. In fact, I actually was kind of fearing it was going to suck. And I'm pleasantly surprised. This was pretty good. Now, let's start with the writing. When all is said and done, the writing here is pretty good. It's not great. I'm never going to say it's great, but it was at least decent. Our story here is really strong. I do kind of like how it's created its own kind of, like mythology for trolls, which, well, at least for this one, for this one troll, and what exactly it can do, because that's always nice when you're able to create your own little, like when you're able to create your own kind of like mythos that could easily be carried into sequels. That's something I like to see. It's kind of a pity that said fucking mythos were never carried into sequels. Instead, they just took any old fucking film and just slapped the troll name on it quite a few times, if memory serves. But anyway, so that there is really good. Our characters, every single character's got at least some level of personality, including every single one of the other tenants in this small apartment building, of which, when all was said and done, 2 of them I actually kind of enjoyed, and those were Sonny Bono's character, who is this like womanizing, swinging douchebag. He actually is sort of likable in his very short and small role in the film. The other one is June, Lockhart's character, who later becomes a rather primary character, and she becomes a very likable character as the film goes on. Where I actually wound up enjoying her presence a lot more than the main character, which is, of course, Harry Potter. Yes, a lot of people are going to constantly mention that, and I'm going to try to avoid any jokes that connect this to the other Harry Potter, so for anyone who thinks I'm going to make a lot of cheap-ass jokes on that, don't, because I'm not going to. So, yeah, I genuinely liked Eunice as a character a lot more than Harry, so there is that, and it's sort of good that she does have a lot of screen time as a character, so then you can at least begin to really enjoy her presence. So yeah, guys, like character-wise, every single character here has got some level of personality and depth, and there's something there where, even honestly, the characters I hate, I still kind of like how they were written, because they still have personality, and that's always a positive. The story itself, characters will occasionally make ridiculously stupid choices, and there's that massive plot hole towards the end. Allow me to explain. At one point, we are told very, very clearly that this fucking troll, Turok is the troll's name, he wants to make a realm for him and all of his fairy brethren, and so he wants to use this small apartment this apartment building rather, in order to do it. We are told directly that the only way he will have complete control, and that this world will somehow burst into its own dimension, and possibly even sort of like funnel its way into ours, is if he's able to allow his world to grow in every building or every room in the building. He does all but one, and gigantic roots or vines are like shooting out of the fucking ceiling, or rather like shooting out of the roof, and they're so fucking big that they draw a crowd. That, guys, is just flat out saying, you know what, we totally wrote this, but fuck you, this is going to look cool. And it did, but it still flies right in the face of something we were told directly not 5 minutes before it happened. And really, it's just those kind of little writing hitches that really kind of stop this from being a fantastically written story, but it's still really good for, what it's worth. Acting here is also incredibly strong because, well, the actors actually had a script to work with, and that usually does seem to bring out the best in most actors. So yeah, every single actor here is turning in a fantastic showing. And everybody genuinely cares. In fact, you can actually almost feel that the people working on this were having some fun on set. So yes, guys, the acting here shines in a way I haven't seen from cheesy 80s films in a long time. So that is a huge positive. Special effects. I'd like to say right now, I did not know this until I pushed play. I had no idea that Charles Band had a hand in making this. For those of you who don't know, Charles Band is the guy who created and worked on a good chunk of the Puppet Master movies. And you guys know exactly how much I loved most of that. And a lot of those movies, I was able to highly praise all of the special effects, especially all of the puppeteering. There's a lot of puppet work here, and it's got that brilliant Charles, Band style. And also those giant vines that are shooting out of the roof of the building are done in stop motion. And that's something else that Band has shown in the Puppet Master films, amongst some of his other works, that he knows how to do it, and do it very, very well. And that shows here. Guys, it was probably a fantastic idea to take a film like this and get somebody like Charles Band involved, simply because the man can do effects and they look spectacular. Everything, including puppets, which, well, most of them are just little cheap fucking like rubber, puppets, but they still look really, really good. So yeah, guys, effects here are great. Camera work, well, again, the film is a little bit older, and I was watching it on DVD, but the picture seems a little bit fuzzy. I'm not totally sure if that's just because it was a bad transfer when they were making the DVD. I really don't know if it's because the film they were using or the camera that they were using was of a lower, quality. But there was something about it which made everything in this movie just a little bit fuzzy. And at one point, and this here I'm going to blame on the fucking transfer more than anything else. The entire frame jumps, where you literally just see it go like that, and it just happens for maybe like a fraction of a second. And it's one of those things where when you notice it, you're gonna totally fucking notice it, and it's gonna pull you right out of the movie. So perhaps maybe they could have gone to a little bit more effort in trying to remaster this a little bit better for DVD, and try to clean up the picture and get rid of that weird jitter that happened at one point. However, though, there's all just me bitching about the technical issues on the disc and not the movie itself. Sound is really good. I'd like to take a moment and cover music, because there's really only a very small number of songs that are used. A lot of them are just in the background, and they're all kind of sort of generic throwaway songs, and all those sound really good. Then we get to that bullshit cover of Summertime Blues, and I commented on it earlier, and I'm going to comment on it again. That cover fucking sucked, and I'm still trying to figure out why the fuck they needed to use it. I totally understand that they mentioned earlier that Harry, Sr. is really into his music, and he's got a ton of albums and this and that. But really, it's like the song starts off and it almost sounds like a Jimi Hendrix sound-alike, and then suddenly you hear the lyrics to Summertime Blues, sung by a human being who apparently has never sung a day in their fucking life. It is not a good song, and frankly, if they would have cut that song, I really think that scene would have been better, which is funny because the scene was going for comedy, and it was certainly kind of funny, but it wasn't funny because the song sucked. It was funny because Harry Sr. was acting like a spaz. Really funny spaz, but still acting like a spaz. So, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Troll? Oh, fuck yeah. This movie was great. I really only found a couple of minor issues with it, but they weren't enough to totally destroy the movie for me. So yeah, if you guys can find a copy of Troll anywhere, be it on Netflix, be it on Hulu, be it be it on DVD. If you can find it either, well, I would highly recommend you get this, because then you also have Troll 2 with it. However, though, I do know that they also have just plain old ordinary Troll on DVD alone. But it would have to be incredibly cheap at that point for me to recommend it. However, if it comes with Troll 2, it's worth every penny. So yes, before anyone asks, I did have more fun watching Troll 2 than I did watching Troll. But that's nothing, and apparently my computer just beeped for some reason. Dinged. Who cares? I'm going to continue onward here. So yeah, am I able to recommend Troll? Oh yes, I would highly recommend you guys check it out. And the best part is that even though the movie is rated PG-13, I would still recommend it as a fantastic children's film, because really the only thing that it has going for it that really kind of would be questionable is language. Because there really is nothing here in terms of violence or gore. I genuinely believe that the only reason why it has the PG-13 rating is because of some slightly strong language. And if you don't want your kids to be exposed to that, then you might not want to let them watch it. Plus, also, they might be kind of sort of afraid of the Troll, but still, it is a really nice fantasy film. Do not let anyone try to sell you on this thing being a fucking horror movie. It most certainly is not. This thing here is family-friendly fantasy with some slightly strong language. That really is all that it is, and I could still recommend it even for that. Now, Troll here came off of the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in is a guy who sent in quite a few movies for this series. His screen name is Medio Surreal. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel in this video's description. And dude, thank you. And I totally understand that I've already thanked you for this because I covered Troll 2. And Troll 2 was the big reason why I put this on the wish list. But I sort of thought at some point I was going to hammer out the first Troll 2, and I mean the first Troll, not first Troll. Well, I'm not gonna. Yeah, my wording's already fucking me over. Anyway, I was interested in checking out Troll anyway, so this sort of gave me a chance to sort of check it out and hammer it out. And frankly, both movies were great, and this is going to have a nice spot in my DVD collection until I at least get Troll 2 on Blu-ray. Then I might sell this. Because frankly, Troll 1 is good, but it's not really something that I would say you absolutely must own. However, though, if you can find it cheap, go right ahead and pick it up. Otherwise, give it a rent. I would highly recommend at least renting Troll, but I'd say certainly buy Troll 2. That movie's fantastic. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.